Hello and welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm your host, Dr. Rita Louise, and thank you all for tuning into the show tonight, especially when I don't have my mic muted while I'm trying to talk, which makes it not work so well. Anyway, so our topic tonight is, with Thanksgiving next week, and just a heads up, there will not be a show next Thursday because it is Thanksgiving, and I'm hoping you all will be spending time with friends and family and just enjoying the Thanksgiving holiday. Thanksgiving is my personal favorite holiday, and I love cooking Thanksgiving dinner and having people over and just getting to just spend time and chilling and enjoying friends and family. But with Thanksgiving, the topic that seemed natural to include is talking about gratitude, about being thankful for things that are going on in our lives. But before I bring that up, I want to, so I'm kind of posing this to anyone that's listening, is have you been finding that this last week, maybe a little more, actually, like since the moon moved into Scorpio, the new moon, that you've been really weepy, or finding that a lot of old emotional energy, old emotional thoughts are coming to the surface, maybe grief or feelings of mourning coming up for you? I know that this week, I mean, I'm just going to say I'm not particularly a crier, although lately this week has just been kind of off the charts and there's not anything going on per se that I can put my finger on. But I'll tell you what, a song comes on and I'm bawling. And I mean, it's just been freaking weird, and I always think, it's just me. But I know three other people who are all kind of going through this same weepy, mourning, weird kind of energy. Um, and so I'm just hope, so again, if anyone is experiencing this in their lives right now, if you could just put a note, kind of what's going on with you. I would just love to get the feedback and share it with everyone else because they might be kind of weepy, grieving, mourning too, and think, wow, it's just me. What the heck is going on? But I think that we're just moving through a cycle right now. Okay. I am praying we are moving through a cycle right now. And I'm going to be so thankful when this cycle is over. Okay. So when we talk about gratitude and being thankful, I'm going to talk about it in a very specific context. We live in a kind of cranky, complaining, in Yiddish, the word is kvetch. We kvetch a lot. We complain about the weather and we complain about this and we complain about that, and the service at the supermarket, or I went to the drugstore to pick up a prescription and I literally sat in line 2 cars back for at least 15 minutes waiting for whoever was at the window to get their prescription. I don't know what the heck they were doing, but it was, I needed in that moment to find gratitude, but I had none, because I've been crying all week. So anyway, but one of the things that's happening when we're complaining or we're whining or is we're in a cycle of negative thinking. So there's negative thinking like the world is going to come to an end, but then there's also this kind of cranky, picky energy that we might have about situations and things. And that also is negative thinking. And so, one way of shifting that energy is to find something to be grateful about. We've talked about a bunch of different ways of shifting that energy: tapping, breathing, meditating, journaling. We've talked about all that stuff. But another way of doing it is, and I'm going to try to lean the right way, is to say thank you, even if you don't necessarily mean it. Now, seriously, when you sit there and you find something in a situation to be grateful for, it shifts the energy. It puts you automatically into a more positive place. And so sometimes it's really easy to say thank you. You get that up close parking spot, during the Christmas season at the mall, when, you have to walk 3 miles through the parking lot to, get a normal spot, but you get one right up front. It's like, oh my God, thank you. When you get something that you want or you had been hoping for, it's like, I know I'm like, hey, thank you. And it's very easy in those moments to find gratitude, to find appreciation. There are some people, all right, I don't know anybody that does this, but they write about it in books, or you might hear a guided meditation, and they're like, be grateful that you woke up in the morning, and be grateful that you have a house to live in, and be grateful. I haven't got to that level yet, but and if there's anyone who actually finds that level of gratitude, could you self-identify? Because I don't know anybody that takes it to that level in their lives. But there are also other times where you're having a really bad day, and you're sitting there and you're crying, and you finally figure out what the lesson is that you are supposed to learn, or what the message is that is tied to all of what's going on. And in those moments, we can find gratitude and stop and say thank you, and then maybe cry some more, but say thank you. Because even though you might be hurting inside, it shifts it just a little bit and makes the challenge easier to live with, because in that moment you know that it is going to pass, and with the passing you're going to take away something and be a different person on the other side. I know I've had moments where it's just like, oh my God, I can't take this. And then I figure out what triggered me and what brought the whole thing on. And even though I might be, not smiling, I'll just sit there and be like, thank you. Thank you. Because I know that I've learned the lesson, and I'm moving one step forward, one step closer to just really having a happy, peaceful, joyful, compassionate, stress-free, breathing kind of life. And I'm going to bring up a different concept that I haven't ever talked about here before. And if you guys are interested in this concept, I can do maybe a few different presentations on it. I would have to figure out how to do the screen share thing and whatever, because there's a visual. But in Jewish mysticism, in the Kabbalah, there is their primary symbol, which is the tree of life, which is made up of 10 spheres on 3 pillars. And, so it's kind of complicated. And the 10 spheres are placed on 7 different levels. And in my opinion, the different levels correlate to the different chakras in the body. So what I'm talking about is the 3rd level, or the 3rd chakra energy, when viewed at from a Kabbalistic Jewish mysticism point of view. And the 3rd level is the 1st level, where the spheres, there is actually 2, and I'm trying to keep my fingers in the, there we go. There's actually 2 spheres on the tree, one on each pillar. And one is Hesed, which is about love and free floating energy and going for the gusto. And then the other one is Gevura, which is about severity and limitation and fear and using your will and your willpower to make things happen. Now, our society congratulates and rewards people who spend a lot of time in that Gevura energy, you know, where you're using all of your personal energy to make an outcome happen. But it's not necessarily good because there's a lot of pressure and stress that's tied to that. But as you sit there and start to find gratitude for the lessons that you learn, the things that you achieve, and bringing more love into your life, because that is the other side, it will start to balance these two sides, where eventually it will end up in the middle, and you'll have like the chakra appear, because the energy of love and the energy of severity will have combined. And that's when that chakra will open up and you will have mastered it. And so gratitude and saying thank you is all tied to that. One of the things also about saying thank you is it puts us back into the flow. You know, and when we're in the flow, we're in alignment with source. Our life force energy is moving through us. Our ability to manifest is enhanced. Our ability to comprehend and receive information from the world around us is in a much better place. And so, you know, saying thank you helps with your energy. You know, and there are those people, and I agree with this, that the more you acknowledge, okay, it's not about saying thank you as much as acknowledging. The more you acknowledge the good in your life, the more you will have. You know, many of us are really good at acknowledging all the bad we have in our lives and all the crap that's going on, but less good about acknowledging the blessings we have. And so once you start acknowledging the blessings, it's like you're saying, please, God, can I have some more? And that should open you up to either seeing more of the blessings in your life and then receiving more blessings in your life. So that's what I have about gratitude. I'm going to go back to my first thing because we have more people in here. And when I opened the show, I just brought up the concept of, you know, if didn't hear this in the beginning, if for the last week or so, if you just been finding yourself very emotional, if you have been finding that grief has been coming up, the emotion of like mourning, this feeling of letting go of old, crappy, limiting crap. I don't know. I know it's been happening to me. I know 3 other people that right off the top that I can say have all kind of very separately reported the same kind of thing. And so I would love to hear your input. One of the things that I know for a fact is that if I'm experiencing something and then I start talking to people about whatever and they bring up the same concept, it tells me that we're moving through a cycle and we're moving through a growth pattern. And I just would really like to confirm that, because I know it would make me feel a whole lot better, because it's just been weird. Okay, so I'm going to open up the lines here in a second. I know that there's a ton of comments, so let me just kind of do my little announcements. If you would like to schedule a private consultation with me, please visit my webpage, soulhealer.com. Check out all the articles and videos and all the good stuff on there. You can also sign up for my newsletter, to keep you informed of what's going on each week. Okay, if you're a Facebook person or would like to be a Facebook person, or you're on YouTube but you want to catch it on Facebook, please join my Facebook group, Dr. Rita Louise Live on Facebook. Dr. Rita Louise Live on Facebook. Dr. Rita Louise Live on Facebook. That was pretty funny. Okay, YouTube, Just Energy Radio on YouTube. It shows up in the live area. Please subscribe, like, thumbs up, set up the announcements, do all of that YouTube stuff under Just Energy Radio. And of course, check out the archives. You know, and if you've never been to that YouTube page, there's literally there's over 550 videos. Many of them are interviews that I did when I had my Just Energy Radio radio show. And I announced this last week, but I put it in the little highlight thing. So my book, Avoiding the Cosmic 2x4, which talks about subtle energy, and actually interesting that I brought up the Kabbalah, it really goes into the chakras, the aura of the chakra, the energy movement through the chakras, and from a Jewish mysticism and Kabbalistic perspective. It just came out on ebook. You know, Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, all those places where you want to get an ebook, Avoiding the Cosmic 2x4. Okay. All right, going to go look at questions. So please post your detailed question in the chat box. I'm going to go through and say hi to people, and then I will scroll back and respond to questions. Okay. So we have Marco in the house. Hey, Marco. And we have Christine. Hi, Christine. And Bradley. The patient is in. Yeah. And Debbie and Jeannie. Hey, ladies. And Miss Veronica. Oh, and Dawn's back. Hey, Dawn. Nice to see you again. Let's see. We have secret mission. Ooh, it's a secret. And yes, secret, let me go back through, and when I get to you, or actually, let me just respond to you. So if any of you have a question, you don't need to ask me if you can ask a question. Just ask the question. And just don't ask about dead people, and don't ask me to predict the future, because those are the two things that I'm just going to jump on your butt about. After that, I'm pretty much fair game. Okay. And we have Alexis in the house. Oh, man. And then I wonder why I'm weeping and crying. And Ziggy's here. And Miss Wendy is here. And Denise. Hey, Miss Denise. Okay, so I am going back up to the top again. Oops, let's take that off. If you can ask a question, please just post the question below. And as I scroll down, I will get there. How's that? Okay, so let's see. See, because Dawn said, can I get a reading tonight? Love Dawn. Dawn, you can always get a reading. Just, put your question on the bottom. Okay. Okay, so Bradley, oh wait, hang on a second. We missed something. So I'm assuming Veronica said yes to the funky energy, and then she put crazy intent. I'm like, I know. And bizarre, like out of the blue, I don't even know where the heck it's coming from. Bradley posted, thinking about past girlfriends. So Bradley, and I'm just curious, with the thinking, has there been some emotional stuff, or where you have been kind of like feeling like you're learning the lesson or seeing your part in what was going on, like looking at the relationship from a different perspective? That's a good way of putting it. Looking at the relationship from a different perspective. I'd love to hear your commentary. Debbie says about the energy, taking that trash out. It's like, I can only hope that is what's going on. Because see, if for me, with all that emotional energy coming up, if that is me literally dumping old, toxic, emotional crap, I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Uh, because one of my goals in this lifetime is to like get off the wheel of reincarnation, and even if I come back, I want a freaking easy life, like for forever. All right. Okay, so Veronica says, many people I know had stuff going on. Cool. Okay. Bradley says, Walgreens, hard to be grateful with them. When I got to the front of the line, I thought I was supposed to have 2 prescriptions. She goes, oh, and she spends all this time explaining this whole thing for me, and then said, but it'll take us about 20 minutes to pull it together. And I'm thinking, are you going to have me sit here for 20 minutes and there's 3 cars behind me? And is that what you did with that last person? Versus saying, drive around to the front and walk into the store and come get your prescription when it's ready and not hog up the line. Just my opinion. Okay. Okay, so secret mission, I already responded to that. So Veronica says, I was afraid of being homeless multiple times, so I can get that basic. It rattled me pretty darn hard. Yeah, and I agree. I feel like some of the stuff that is coming up are like really deep core limiting beliefs that have been controlling our lives. So if one of the things controlling your life, Veronica, has been this fear of destitution, and that's what's coming up, and that's what your body is working on letting go or resolving or coming to terms with, or however you are ending up processing it, then yeah, I mean, to me, that totally fits into what I think this energy is all about. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but we're in Scorpio. Okay, so I'm not like a giant astrologer. I know kind of enough to get in trouble, but that's about it. But we're in Scorpio now, and we just went into a Scorpio new moon. And I don't know how often that happens where you get a double sun and moon sign together, but basically that means in the sky, the sun and moon are like right next to each other in the sky, and meaning that they're conjunct, and it means that the energies that they have are even stronger. And depending on what aspects or relationships it has to other planets, which I really didn't look at, can make it be more intense or kind of filter the way the energy is presenting or affecting us, or where those planets are in our natal chart might affect us in a different way. See, and that was one of the things I wish I knew a little more about astrology, because I think for the people that it's really affecting hard, there's something going on in their personal chart that is making it be just that much stronger. Okay, so Alexis says, Rita is awesome. Yay. Thank you, Lexi. Okay, and then she updates and says, I did get that new job that is more political and more stressful, but I do love it. It's fun. Yay. Cool. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, and away from that person that we didn't like. Okay. So Ziggy says, yes, feelings of taking back issues I thought had been put to bed, grieving loss of life, including my own health. I have a nice life, but found I miss and still long to be elsewhere. Cool. Yeah, and what comes up for each person is going to be different. Because it all depends on our core beliefs or those fears that are sitting in the background created by trauma that are looking to express themselves and be released. And Scorpio, okay, not an astrologer, but if I recall correctly, they're really about deep emotions. And so, like, a double Scorpio is about really deep emotion. And so that's probably why, for some of us, it feels like they're dredging the bottom of the pool, pulling the old leaves out and frogs and yucky stuff. Yeah. Ugh. Okay, so Wendy says, "Hey, Rita, I hope your Thanksgiving is all you want it to be." Wendy, it is going to be great. I am going to see my kids and my grandbabies and my ex-husband. Okay, not so great with that. But I'm putting out the good energy that's going to be good too. I hope. So anyway, it's going to be what it is going to be. Okay. Let's see. So Ziggy said, "Oh, thank you for my charmed life. Truly shift, shift, shift." Okay, cool. Thank you, Ziggy. Okay, so Don, I think this is a question. I'm trying to find a new thing to do. Job. Okay. Well, I could go all over the place with that, but I'm just going to kind of go real generic here, Don. Okay, I'm going to go here. So Don, I feel like you have used your energy in doing a lot of things in life that they might have been satisfying from an ego perspective as far as you moving forward and maybe making good money or getting the power and prestige that you had hoped for in those kind of ways. But I don't feel like they have been satisfying to your soul. And I feel like at this time, you don't really want to just get a job. You want to get something that there's some meaning and value to you. And so my recommendation is that you take a pause. Maybe this time is about you letting go of some of that, and I'm going to say ego for lack of better words, those expectations of what it should be, and turn inside and ask yourself, ask your soul, what do I want to do? What will bring me satisfaction? What will make me happy? And go with that. Because many times the things that make us happy, especially once we start getting like a little older in life, tend to be the most fulfilling, even if we're not making the same kind of money that we may have been making before. But we get up and go to work and do our stuff and are happier every day. And sometimes just being happy and stress-free are worth it. Does that make sense, Don? I hope that helps. And of course, follow up down below. Anthony, hey, Anthony, do me a favor. Post the name of your book and your webpage below so I can give you a plug. So that's Anthony. He has a new book out. I think it's the UFO Nexus, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And he says, some of us are just watching but not asking anything. But Anthony, you can always ask stuff. And please do post your book and link down below so I can share that with everybody because I love you and I got your back. Okay. So Ziggy says, I'm old and every day wake up mostly surprised I'm still here. So Ziggy, based on our conversation today, do you say thank you that you're still here today? It might, it would be a perfect opportunity for that. And wonder why, and wonder why I might add, thanks for air. Okay, Ziggy, so I'm not even sure what to do with that one. You guys are just like you're not stumping me today. So I'm going to assume that you're wondering why you wake up in the morning. Every so often I have people come and they're like, when am I going to die? When's my mom going to die? I had this lady, when's my husband going to die? Because she didn't want to divorce him. She thought it would be better if he died because then she could get all of his stuff, which was weird. But anyway, and I can't even answer that question for people. People internally will make the decision that they're ready to go. And when they make that decision, I can go and say, this is the window that I see tied to that person. I mean, and I'm talking about, old age, or if there's a physical issue going on. I mean, obviously, if there's a car accident, people don't walk around like, oh, I'm ready to die, and then bam, they get hit by a car. It doesn't work that way. But internally, they will usually make the decision that they're ready to go. And then there's a window that you can make, I don't want to say a prediction, but you can look at the energy on it. And Ziggy, I'm not seeing like you've made a decision to go. So that's why you're not going, because you're not ready to go. Sorry. Okay, secret mission. Ooh, secret mission person has a question. Okay, I suffer from what might be called multiple, you're one of those, multiple chemical sensitivities. Some environments, e.g. car, particular rooms, will cause very severe changes to my brain function. What can I do to resolve this? So secret mission, chemical sensitivity are like the problem children of the health world. I fully get that, people have chemical sensitivities, but the treatment of them, addressing them, is really hard, because you can't help the person do a detox because they can't take any of the detox medications. You can't, it just becomes really challenging, and so from that point of view, it's really about cleaning up the environment and staying out of environments that trigger you. And I wish I had a better answer for that. Okay, so this popped in my brain, so I'm just going to say it out loud. And actually, let me just make sure I'm using the right letters. Okay, so there is something called NATE therapy. And actually, I'm going to say what it is. It is, we're just going to say NATE is Nemburopad allergy elimination technique. NAET. We're going to go with NAET. And it's about allergy elimination. And so I'm just wondering if something like that would help you to address the triggers that are going on. So for my, bag of tricks, I'm more of an herb, supplement, energy work kind of person. And what you're dealing with is more, allergy trigger wise. And so even doing energy work, it's hard to sit there and say, well, this is the place where it's happening, because it's kind of like your whole body's reacting. And so if you haven't investigated that, that might be a good place to start, because that's all about helping to reduce the triggers that your body's experiencing. And that's really all I got. I wish I had something better to say. Okay. All right, so Bradley said D, all of the above. So now I have to go back up here a second. Oh, okay. But see, Bradley, okay, so, you were talking about the old relationships, but my feeling is that this stuff is coming up and it's coming out, and going out. and not just being recirculated. I mean, I think that many of us have the opportunity to have it be recirculated, especially if you get a cocky attitude and you let ego to rule and be like, oh, well, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Then you're not allowing the energy to go. It's really about acknowledging the memories, the thoughts, the emotions, and allowing them to be there and then go. Okay, now some of us might be better at doing that than others. I don't want a report card on this whole thing. So Bradley, that would be where my focus would be is what lessons did you learn? Are you seeing a pattern of not their behavior, but of your behavior that keeps repeating in these relationships over and over and over again that you can do differently so that you don't experience the hurt and pain that you have experienced in these relationships that keep coming up? Did that make sense? I think so. Okay, moving on. All right, so all right, so Son, hey Son, said, can you look into my romantic relationships and tell me what you see? So Son, I'm going to make the assumption that you are not in some kind of committed relationship at this point in time, but want to just a general look at your relationship space, which is what I'm going to do in this moment. And if there is somebody specific that you would like for me to talk about, if you could post just their first name, that would be great. Okay, so Son, this is really interesting. So what you're showing me is that there's a part of you, a kind of a big part of you that is ready to get into a new relationship. Many times I will look at people that ask questions like that. And the first thing that I see is like, well, they say they want to get into a relationship, but their energy says, no, 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 no. But when I look at your energy, I feel like you are wanting, like inside wanting to create something, but I keep feeling like there's a lot of fear tied to it and that you're holding back. And a bit afraid to engage. I feel like there's some hurt and pain that you're working on letting go. So as I was saying to Bradley, for some reason, this is the period about letting go of old hurt. And so maybe you can use this time to let go of some of that relationship fear and let go of some of that relationship pain, so you can move forward and actually create the relationship you really wanted to have. That deep, loving relationship that isn't full of pain. Okay, Anthony put something, but now I have to click on it. It says, how can I address my depression? I've been working excessively and struggling to find time for rest. What steps can I take? Oh, let's see. Maybe not work so much and rest. Additionally, I'm concerned about my romantic life. Will I be able to find a partner, or am I destined to remain single? Wow, Anthony, that's like you should schedule a freaking private consultation with me. Okay, so let's see. Anthony. Ooh, do you really want me to say this all out loud? Okay. All right. I'm going to do this first before I do this reading. Okay. So Anthony's new book is UFO Nexus. That's UFO Nexus. And the webpage is ufonexus.com. ufonexus.com. Okay. So back to his question. So Anthony, one of the things that I see sitting very strongly in your depression is you're not going to like me for saying this out loud in front of all these people, but you asked, so I'm going to tell. I just feel that there are self-esteem issues that when you look at people, You don't feel equal. You feel like, like they kind of look down on you. You know, I could go on, but I think I'm just going to leave that there. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. So as I've talked about this period of letting go and releasing, maybe that would be a good energy for you to address inside of yourself and let that go, because Anthony, you're a freaking great guy. And you have a lot to offer and bring to and have a lot that you bring to the table. And so to sit there and walk around with this underlying feeling that you're less than, um, it's not serving you at all. Bam. It's not serving you at all. Okay. Romantic life. Let's see. I mean, when I look at your romantic life, I feel like there's a lot of fear. I feel like there's been, hurt tied to that. But I think anybody that's over 20, that kind of sounds like a broken record for most people. So, Anthony, I'm saying this with all the love in my heart, but you can be part of the Dumb Girls Club. And the Dumb Girls Club consists of this group and growing group of phenomenal, brilliant women who always pick the wrong man. Always, 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 and then wonder why that they end the relationship being hurt and beat up and feeling abused. And I feel like there are honorary memberships into the Dumb Girls Clubs for guys. And I would like to extend you an honorary membership into the Dumb Girls Club. And so one of the things that I have found so there's the fear of you like even approaching someone and the self-worth that somebody would even like you. But I get the impression that many times in your relationships, you get into this very people pleasing. I'm going to do these things so that they like me. And, well, they got these issues going on that I kind of don't like, but they like me. So I'm all about it. And I would like for you to suggest that you maybe start having some boundaries and going, well, what about me? How do I feel about this? Do I like this person? Do I want to interact or be with this person? Because once you start putting yourself into the equation, then the chance that you're going to get hurt, beat up, and abused in the relationship ends dramatically, because you're more internally inclined to go, you know what? That's really not working for me, and have the balls and gumption to walk away. Okay? Sorry, you asked for it. Okay, and so Miss Cindy and Gabby are in the house, and I'll be seeing them on Thanksgiving. Yay! Okay. So Alexi says, I've been missing my grandmother, but that always happens this time of year. Her birthday is November 7th. This time of year for me is always fairly sad. I wonder if I'm so used to it, I'm not noticing the extra emotions. I could see that as being a possibility, or you might be experiencing the loss of your grandmother maybe a little more intensely this time. Or maybe you're just not sensitive. I don't know. I mean, everybody experiences things in a different way, but if you're already in a sad place, then you're already sad. Actually, I'm going to throw something else in. You have this new job, and so that's kind of taking up some of your energy as far as like being prepared for work and the learning curve and these new experiences and the excitement of that. And I feel like that's kind of nullifying what's going on in this deep emotional energy. Um, so I think they're there, but I think they're, there's just a lot of other stuff going on in your life right now that is just putting that more in the background. Okay, so Don's back. Hey, Don. He says, I've been a VW engineer, a VW engine builder, now ex-private pilot and into motorcycles. Just to give you some background, now I'm 72 and have died twice in motorcycle accidents and brought back. But why? I don't know. Because you weren't ready to go. I don't really have I don't have an answer for that, Don. I'm not even sure where you would look. All right, hang on. Okay, so this is just really weird. So I just kind of like asked, okay, why are you coming back? But is there a grandchild, grandbaby out there that you're very close to? I'm getting that it's a girl. Um, and I'm just going to leave it there because if that is the case, and that you're close to, then I feel like it has something to do with her. And I'm not, it's almost like talking to dead people. So. Okay. So Veronica. Okay. Okay. So. All right. I'm just going to kind of like touch on these, Veronica. So no IBS at all. SIBO. I would have to look that up because I always forget what that's called. But I'm going to say no. All right. I don't really know where you're going. So are you thinking that you have like intestinal issues? Although a prolapse isn't really an intestinal issue. So I'm just going to talk about your intestine in general. Yes, I think there's biofilm there. Yes, there's candida there. Yes, there is backed up fecal matter there. This is a hard one. So there's a company called Rise and Shine who offer a colon cleanse, and they have a short one that's like 2 or 3 weeks, and then the long one that's like 6 weeks, which is very intense. But I mean, the videos, they have all kinds of like caked on, dried up poop stuff that comes out. And you have some pretty caked up, dried up poop stuff in there. So I don't know if that's something that you would be open to doing. Personally, I would only do it in the summer because you kind of can't really eat anything. But I'm not really getting any of those. So, okay. All right, it's Sin. It's Sin. All right, Sin, you got a new guy for me? Okay. Oh, wait, there's a whole bunch more. And Don says, P.S. I love your show. Don, I love that you love my show. Thanks, and you are predictable. So Sin says, is this new person I'm bonding with the person I'll date? So when I look at this person, I am not feeling that on their radar, and I am going to say yet. Okay. I am going to say that I feel like you've kind of like been holding your energy back better and not like projecting this overwhelming energy on this person and allowing them to have some space. And so if you're hearing what I'm saying with that, good job and congratulations. I feel like with some of these other guys that you kind of chase them away. And this guy, hasn't gone anywhere yet. And I don't feel like your energy is being overwhelming with him. So, good job. Uh-oh, more sin stuff. Okay. All right. So, Veronica said, Don, VWs are my favorite cars. Kudos. All right. So, secret mission person from YouTube says, thanks so much, Dr. Rita. I'll look into Nate. Another question, last one on the way. Okay, secret mission. Okay, we're back to Sin and her love life. Will this new connection? Will this connection with this femboy work out? I can't really give you, because that's me predicting the future. And, we all do stupid stuff and we all do good stuff. And it's way too new to make any kind of call on that. Okay. So Bradley says, yes, like a merry-go-round. It's like, yeah, I hear that. And then Sun says, thank you. I really resonate with that. So hang on. What did we talk to Sun about? Okay, good. Good, Sun. So it was about her relationship and being ready. Oh, here we go. So Sun says, the person that I'm interested in name is Cody. Cody. Okay, so let's see. Cool. So when I look at the relationship dynamics between the two of you, I feel like you both are kind of shy and you both kind of have your energy pulled back. But when and his pulled back a little bit more than yours, because I feel like he's working through some pain. Maybe, in this moment, with all this weird emotional stuff coming up, maybe he's working through some of his emotional stuff now too. And maybe that's what I'm seeing. But I feel like the dynamics is that you guys are feeling each other out. You're creating like respect for each other. I feel like neither of you are in a big hurry to have this go somewhere because neither of you really want to get hurt. And so, based on what I'm seeing right now, yes, I see interest on both sides, but I also feel like there's fear on both sides of jumping into something and having it not be the right thing. And so I feel like there's a very appropriate air of caution going on, but I don't feel like if things keep moving forward between the two of you, that it couldn't go further along. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so secret. All right, where are we? Okay, so we have 6 minutes, and I have a list here. So, secret mission, if you could give me that person's first name, because I'm seeing just a lot of women's kind of floating around you. So, first name, and I'm going to try to get to it. Okay. So Anthony says thank you, and he gave me like a little heart thing that didn't translate to a heart. Okay. So Wendy says, I know I desire a romantic relationship, but I don't feel attached to it. So I wonder if my lack of intense desire is blocking me, or is it the appropriate level for having let go to let God? Okay, I see where you're going. Wendy, I just like say what I see. So when I look at your energy space, I see this, like talk to the hand, like you don't even want them in your space. You don't want them around you. You don't want them touching you. Um, I feel like you would really be open to the companionship, but I feel like having it be more intense than that, um, I'm just not getting. And so maybe that's why there's not the desire there, because you're not really open to having someone step into that place, and I'm just going to like put this little scenario out there, because when I even think it in my mind, I feel like you're cringing. That there's some guy that you're with and they come up and want to like wrap their arms around you and kiss you. And I just feel like, yeah, coming from you. And yeah. Okay, moving on. All right, so Anthony says, I'll take it. All right, so here's Deb, card carrying member of the Dumb Girls Club. Welcome, Anthony. Anthony, so we have a lot of dumb girls in here, Anthony. So just make friends with them. They'll be your friend because they're dumb girls. That's why we're friends, because I'm a dumb girl. So, and we love you. And Charles says hi. Hi, Charles. Oh, Charles, you were here last week. Okay. Okay, 3 minutes. All right, I might reach the bottom. And I know that you talked about her or asked about her last week, and I guess there's been no change. So I am feeling at this time, I'm going to shift my commentary. At this time, I'm feeling like it would be appropriate for you to stop sending out the energy of, I want you back, I want you back, I want you back, and bring your energy back to yourself and take care of you and take care of healing you. Sometimes when we put out so much energy, it's like there's no room for the other person. It's hard for me to, oh, hang on a second. I mean, when I look at her energy, I feel like she still thinks about you, but I am not necessarily getting that it's in like a really good way. So I think for your own healing, dialing back that intensity of need and desire for her in your life would be a better way of using your time. And if you were here for earlier in the show, this period really has been about letting go and releasing, especially about old emotional wounding. And this might be a good opportunity to do that with her. Okay. Hey, Denise. So it says, I just finished 10 days of antibiotics for gum infection, maybe abscess. It is much improved, but have occasional twinges still. Are more antibiotics needed, or it just takes time to heal? So something that I recommend to my clients that have like abscessy kind of thing is like gargling with salt water, taking oregano oil. And I just had a client, and I did not know that this was a thing, but there's not a tooth potentially that needs to have a root canal to make it so that the abscess drains. The other thing would be to, so I said about the salt water, but also clove oil is also antibacterial, antimicrobial, and you can just rub a little bit on that spot. I mean, antibiotics do really help with the abscess and the infection, but I mean, you know me, who wants to take, I mean, 10 days is already a lot. So I would maybe give it some time and try to do some alternative things. Okay, where are we? Oh, we're already over time. Okay, so I'm just kind of all right, guys. There's like a whole big list of stuff here that I can't get to because it's just too much stuff. Okay, so as always, if you would like to schedule a private consultation with me, because what you want to talk about is a little bit more private or is going to take more than 2 minutes for me to get into and describe, please schedule a private consultation with me at soulhealer.com. I do a lot of different things, so check out the site, and please do, if you go by, sign up for the newsletter. Facebook, Dr. Rita Louise Live on Facebook. Join the group. Enjoy the fun. I post all kinds of weird stuff on there. YouTube, Just Energy Radio on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, blah, blah on that page. And my new book in ebook format, Avoiding the Cosmic 2x4. 2 times 4, except it's not 2 times 4. It's a 2x4. The perpetual whack up the side of the head. How do you avoid the perpetual whack up the side of the head? Avoiding the cosmic 2x4. Anyway, guys, until next week, I am Dr. Rita Louise. This is Thursday Night Live, and you all have a happy Thanksgiving. I will see you all in 2 weeks. Till then, be blessed.